like to introduce our moderator for today in the person of Miss Frema Edunyami. Please put your hands together for Miss Frema Edunyami. And she will do us the honors of introducing the moderator for the day. But the JHIA Fireside Chats are a series of engagements that has been structured to give people who work in the international relations landscape a chance to share their story, their reflections, and their life experiences. And so for you and I to have a chance to interrogate who they are, why they do what they do. So I'll get off the stage now and hand over the mic to Ms. Frema. Please put your hands together for her again.
Thank you very much, Sheikh. With your permission, may I please take off my mask? I think we are very well socially distanced. All right, thank you very much. Your Excellency, High Commissioner from Kenya to Ghana, Your Excellency Eliphas Barine, all right, and invited guests, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, our friends from the Business and Financial Times, are you here? All right, welcome, thanks for joining us. Our special guest that we'll be introducing, and you're all very much welcome to our Fireside Chat this evening, and I promise, and I can really tell that it's going to be an interesting evening, quite an interactive one, so please, just feel free when it's time to ask your questions, let them flow. Right, so our guest for today is Ambassador Shani Cooper-Zubuda. She is the ambassador from Israel to Ghana, Liberia, and Sierra Leone. Madam Shani Cooper is, like I've stated, the ambassador since 15th of August 2018. From 2016 until her current position, she was Deputy Chief of Mission at the Israeli Embassy in Ankara, Turkey, and served a few months as Chargé d'Affaires while the ambassador was recalled for consultations. Ms. Cooper joined the Ministry of Foreign Affairs after completing the Cadet Corps course in 2006. She held various positions at postings abroad, such as the spokesperson of the Israeli Embassy in Cairo, Egypt from 2007 to 2010, and Deputy Head of Mission at the Embassy of Israel in Nicosia, Cyprus from 2010 to 2013. She was appointed Deputy Director at the Southern European Department at the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, specifying in the relations with Turkey, Greece, Cyprus, Malta, and Bulgaria. In this position, she was responsible for the building of the Israel-Cyprus-Greece trilateral cooperation. Now, earlier in 2003, she worked for Haaretz, I hope I got the paper correctly, right, newspaper as head of desk and news editor. It was also an assistant professor for political science at the Tel Aviv University and at the Open University. Shani Cooper holds a BA degree in political science and journalism and an MA degree in political science, both from Tel Aviv University. She speaks Hebrew fluently, English fluently, and Arabic very well. She was born on August 16, 1977. She is married and has two beautiful daughters. Ladies and gentlemen, our guest this evening is the Honorable Ambassador of Israel to Ghana, Liberia, and Sierra Leone, Her Excellency Shani Cooper. It's allowed. Thank you very much, Your Excellency, and you're welcome. Yes.
Thank you, Frema.
Right. So we are going to have a beautiful conversation this evening, you know. And I must say that that is quite a huge portfolio that you carry, Ambassador to Ghana, Liberia, Sierra Leone. Now, tell us, how do you do this? How do you pull all this through?
Well, this is my job, first of all. You know, when you have such a work, I think that the most important thing is to like your work. And I love being a diplomat. I think that it's very interesting and very, very much in other posts or other jobs, I would not have touched the so many issues that I'm touching every day in my work. So, for example, when I was stationed in Nicosia, Cyprus, I was finding myself researching on natural gas. And suddenly I became an expert, not really, but an expert of natural gas, writing talking points to my prime minister on natural gas. But no, you know, I've never studied it. But this profession, being a diplomat, gives you a very, very generous scope of interests. And you can study and know everything. So now in Ghana, Liberia, and Sierra Leone, I'm studying so many new things that I've never known, and I think that this is maybe the secret in being, in doing whatever I do, just to love your profession.
And I must say that you are doing amazing at your job. You know, so ladies and gentlemen, this evening we are going to be looking at, we're getting up and close, quite personal with you. So we're looking at your educational background and the journey through your career. We'll also be looking at your time as an ambassador in Ghana. And then we'll look at the Ghana-Israel relations. And then one aspect that I'm personally very, very interested in, being a woman, you know, and doing diplomatic work. So maybe we should start from who you are, you know, how it all started from you, your education, who your parents are, who, created this awesome superwoman.
Yeah. Well, I'm a farm girl. Okay. I was born in a little farm. It's called, in Israel, it's called Moshav. Moshav is a communal a village that does mainly agriculture. My father is a farmer. My mother is doing research and development on farming and agriculture. And we are, I was born over there in a it's like 1 kilometer from the Jordan River. And it's very, very hot area with a lot of snakes and
similar to Ghana.
It's desert like harsh desert, and it was a wonderful, wonderful childhood that I had. I was always outside and you know, never in the house. Not like my daughters right now that I can, you know. I cannot see them for 12 hours because they are in their computer, and then
they are pretty occupied with other stuff now.
Yes. So I had an outdoor childhood, and then because I was born in the peripheral area of Israel, the level of school over there was not very strong. So I had to go to something that is very common here and in Britain, but in Israel it's not very common. And I went for a boarding school in Jerusalem. And over there I've done my high school years.
So home, how was it like, you know, being with parents? How many siblings do you have? Did your growing up have anything to do with who you've become today?
Yes, for sure. My parents, they are Zionists. I don't know if a lot of people understand the real meaning of being a Zionist.
Tell us.
Yeah. A Zionist is a person who believes that the homeland of the Jewish people is Zion, is Israel. So my parents are real Zionists, and they went to the desert in order to bloom it because they wanted to work for the country. They wanted to serve their country and make a change. And I was raised the same, but I knew that I will not become a farmer, not because it's not interesting, but because really my skills as a farmer are very, very bad. You should see my pots in there. They're really terrible. But I knew that I want to do something for my country. And that being a diplomat was a very good choice or a very good option for me to both, you know, live according to the ideology of my parents and also develop myself and my career.
Right. So knowing that you didn't want to be a farmer, did the course choices that you made, you know, going to school, I mean, was it planned, you know, that I really want to sway from being a farmer? And did it also influence the schools that you chose to attend?
It's a good question. First of all, my parents pushed me very, very hard to succeed and to do. They felt responsible for my education. By the way, I see it a lot in Ghana, that the parents feel a lot or give a lot of importance for education. And my parents understood very well that without education, I will not be able to progress in life. And my father actually told me I wanted to learn music. And my father told me, no, 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 this is not an occupation, you know, forget about it. And I was a good girl, yeah. So I did what he told me, and I went to study Arabic. And it's actually paved my whole life studying Arabic, because after that I continued in our military service. We have to do military service in Israel. So on my military service, I was part of the teachers who teach Arabic, and then I could use my Arabic in university, and then it was also an advantage when I got accepted to the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. So actually, my parents paved, in a way, my way to this place.
So when did journalism come in?
Yeah, so I also like very much writing, and I love playing with words. And this way, I was sure that I would I will do something that will let me develop my creativity. Yeah. So and that's how I became a journalist.
Journalism. Now you were a news editor. How challenging was that?
Wow, it was beautiful, but it was like I had to wake up at 4 a.m. to read all the news, to know everything, every minute. You are not sleeping. You have to drink and eat news and, you know, have it all the time. If you didn't know of anything, then you didn't do your work well. And it was beautiful, but it wasn't very long, only a few years, and then I joined. I actually crossed the lines from being a journalist, you know, with all these rights of freedom of information and all, to being from the side of the government,
withholding information.
Yes, sorry. Why do you have to know?
And why not? You know, that is our job. You know, trying to get what shouldn't be known or what is not meant to be known to the people. And I think we do well at that as journalists.
I agree. And I also agree that the journalism level in Ghana is relatively very high, sometimes even in certain ways higher than in Israel. No censorship, a lot of opinions. The journalists and the, let's say, the newspapers and the media and the TV and radio are reflecting the opinions of the people, which is fantastic. And I miss those days of being a journalist. Maybe one day I'll go back.
And why not? I think it would be lovely to have you back in there.
But I think it helped me in doing my work, because I understand the needs of the media, and I understand that we are not enemies. We are just collaborating. I have my own interests, the media have their own interests, and then we are, you know, exchanging information. I give what I give, they get what they get, and it's a game that we are playing together. I think it made my life easier.
Great, I'm happy to hear that. So now let's look at your career as a diplomat. How did it start?
Sorry, 1 minute.
It's allowed.
So first of all, it's important to say that I got married. Because without my husband, really, the story would have been totally different.
It's good that you drink water before you go to this.
I got married, and it was while I was in the cadet course. In Israel, in order to become a diplomat, you have to go through a cadet course, which is 6 months of very, very intense program. They're teaching you almost everything, and then for 5 years, you're still a cadet, and they can kick you out whenever they want, okay? So you're still on a trial for 5 years. It's like, it's considered to be very, very high, prestigious course. And I wanted from the beginning, since I saw the first time that I've heard about the cadet course was when I was on the 11th grade. I saw an article, and we went with my classroom to the Ministry of Foreign Affairs to have a meeting over there, and I said, this is what I want. Yes, I want to be there. And I knew, and that's why I studied whatever I studied, international relations. I was very, very goal-oriented. When I came to the exams, there was one person over there. Unfortunately, she died recently. And she was in the past, she was the former spokesperson of the Israeli embassy in Cairo. I heard it, and it was, wow. It combines everything that I love together.
Okay.
Both journalism, because it's a spokesperson and you deal with journalists, and then Arabic because it's in Egypt, and then diplomacy, which is anyway what I want to do. So I really, really wanted to become the spokesperson in Cairo,
Okay.
and I made it.
Oh, you did. Congratulations for that.
Yes.
And then from then?
And so over there for 3 years in Cairo, we had our 2 daughters, one
Okay.
after the other.
All right.
It was pretty tough, but it was great, great. Cairo, we really enjoyed our time.
But how did you pull that through? Because being a fresh mom, traveling around, you're not home, and then you have to do all this as well. How did it feel, and how did you succeed in doing that?
It was like living in a storm. 3 years of storm. You don't really, there are some parts of my life that I can't really remember. I must admit that there are people who served with me on the same embassy, and I can't remember them because I was so occupied all the time. And I remember that one time my grandma came to visit me in Cairo, and she didn't feel well, unfortunately. And then I had to go because my Minister of Defense came to visit in Egypt. And, I had to choose. I didn't have children then, but I have to choose between family and career and work. And I just left my husband with my grandma, the poor man.
Whoa. No, but tell us a little bit, about how supportive he is, because I think that a lot of, I don't know what a culture in Israel is, but from where I come from, the woman has a lot of responsibilities in keeping the home. And so if you are in a job that will have to be taking you almost all the time out of home, there may be some issues there. How did you get this? Was it something that you knew? Was it how you, handle the man? What was the secret there?
First of all, I was lucky.
Okay.
I really didn't know that it's going to be this way. Really, it's a lot of luck. Secondly, my husband is coming from a family in which his mother is a career woman. She was a teacher, but since they didn't have a lot of money, she was teaching from dawn to dusk.
Yeah.
Yes. So she wasn't home. So he's very, this is something that is
Used to
natural
that.
for him. Yes. Secondly, he's a great dad. And I really, really appreciate the way that he handles the children. And I know that when I go, I am leaving them in loving, caring hands.
Yeah.
And it helps a lot in their relations. But to tell you the truth, you know, just only today, like, I don't know, 2 hours before I came here, we were arguing about if I should come back home or work or he should go. It happens. This is the way, this is life.
And did you
right?
come to an agreement? So are you going home from here? Or you are
No,
going to
of
work?
course I'm going home from here. The
Okay.
question was, should I go home earlier before I come here or just continue because I came directly from work?
Right, right. Interesting. So what would you say are some of the highlights of your job, you know, of being an ambassador?
An ambassador. So
Yes.
this is my first time as ambassador
Yes.
here in Ghana.
Okay.
And the highlight, it's very, very difficult to say because I think that my highlight is not because I'm ambassador and definitely not because I'm Shani. I am me. I think that the highlights are coming because I represent something that is bigger than me.
Okay.
I represent my country. And Israel is very much loved here in Ghana.
Yeah.
And people respect Israel and they love Israel. So I get the fame. But I think that as a person, I managed to do a lot of things because of my title. Let's say I can use my title for good benefits in order to do good things. One of them is to send a 3-year-old child to a life-saving operation in Israel because I have the connections,
Yeah.
okay, with an Israeli NGO. Or one of them is to initiate a course to suddenly understand that there is a gap in Ghana on innovation, and we know what to do. And I will initiate a training that is going on for now 2 years, and its goal is to solve this gap. I am able to initiate, to think, and to initiate, and then to really act upon it, and really fulfill whatever I was thinking. So I think that this is a very nice way to live, you know.
Of course. I mean, it's always nice to be the president or the head of state, you know, in another land because you are representing your country and it comes with all the protocols, you know, that we can accord your nation, like you've rightly mentioned. But prior to your coming to Ghana, what did you know about Ghana and what were your expectations?
Look, I studied. I came directly from Turkey after 2 years in Turkey. And I studied about Ghana whatever I could. But, you know, reading on a country and even watching on YouTube, and we were really curious about the food and what are we going to eat and what kind of fruits and vegetables are there, which, by the way, are not similar to the Israeli fruits and vegetables at all. It's nothing comparing. You can't really understand a country through reading or through the TV. And so I knew that Ghana is like Africa light, okay? It's not the hardship Africa, sub-Saharan Africa. And I knew that there is mostly electricity and water and, you know, all of these things. And I met with some Ghanaian diplomats during the way, so they were not strangers. But I didn't really know about Ghana. No, I really didn't know. I must say that it's now the end of my third year here, and Uh, Only during my third year, I'm understanding what I don't know about Ghana, this is the most important thing. Not what do you know about a place, but what you don't know, and then you understand, the things that you have to learn. It's very complicated, all this thing, because I want to explain 1 minute. Sure. In the diplomatic life, and Your Excellency, maybe you'll agree with me, when you come to a country, the first year is a year of learning. Okay, it doesn't matter if you are African originally or you are Middle Eastern, you are studying the place, getting to know the points of strength, the weaknesses, the challenges, the way people speak the English or all the other languages, and even like private personal things, where to cut your hair, and you are constantly learning new stuff, new names, and so on. The second year is the year that you suddenly understand. You understand where you are, what are you going to do. You are trying to break your goals into missions, and you are really understanding where you are. And then on the third year, you see the fruits, okay, of your work. Suddenly, the things that you managed, that you learned on the first year and prepared on the second year, are now blooming. These 3 years were very different because of COVID. Because of COVID, we lost, all of us, lost the whole year. So actually, my third year is like my second year here, because on our second year, instead of really understanding and doing whatever we have to do, we had to divert ourselves and be totally flexible in operating the embassy and the world in a new way, and to answer the challenges that we were given. So I must say that this is not a very usual or normal post, and another year would not harm me here, but I must go back.
Unfortunately. Yes. So when you were coming, what was your focus? What were you hoping to achieve as an ambassador? And with COVID coming in, to what percentage were you able to achieve that? That is, if you're able to do anything at all.
First of all, we were able to do a lot, okay? We were, the first year really was dedicated to understanding what are the main priorities of Ghana, and where us, Israel, is able to contribute to these priorities. So we identified at least 3 sectors, a little bit more, but I will focus on these 3 sectors of cooperation. The first is agriculture. No doubt that Israel is very strong with agriculture, and Ghana is putting a lot of emphasis on agriculture, so we can collaborate on that. The second sector is innovation. Israel is the startup nation, and we would like very much, and we identify this, how would I say it, this hunger in Ghana to success and to innovate, and also the capabilities, the high level of academic degrees, the importance of education, the strong business sector in Ghana. All of these are making Ghana a very good candidate to be the next, the African startup nation. So on innovation, this is something that we identified as a sector that we can collaborate. And the third one was because of COVID, it was health. Israel is very advanced in health technologies, and Ghana is putting a lot of stress on digitization of health, and we think that we are able to step together and find new solutions to existing problems or challenges. We have done it throughout all our tools. From one hand, we did it in a commercial, in the economical part. Okay, so we attracted a lot of new Israeli companies to collaborate and to do business in Ghana on health, innovation, and agriculture. And I'm very happy to say that we see a very nice rise in the number of Israeli companies who are interested in doing business in Ghana, or with Ghana. So this is one thing. We have done it also through the development sector. Our agency for international cooperation, MASHAV, that has been working here since 1958 and actually was born in Ghana, is working on innovation, on agriculture. Currently, actually today, we have finished a course that was tailor-made for Ghanaian extension directors, yes, with the Ministry of Food and Agriculture. And of course, on health, we have 2 neonatal units in Kumasi. And other things. So also in public diplomacy, actually anything that we've done according to these priorities in order to have a holistic approach to the relations between Ghana and Israel.
Right,
We've
so
done quite well.
absolutely, and you also gave us a loan, for the UGMC. We'll pay back. Right, so let's pick your thoughts on Ghana-Israeli relations in general. Like you mentioned with Mashav, this dates way back, to pre-independence era. How would you describe our relations from then till now?
Yeah, it will take time from then till now, but I will say this. Look, I think that Israel is back in Africa generally and specifically in Ghana after a long time that we have been missing. Well, we were here, but we were not heard. We had other challenges. We had to keep ourselves alive. I'm not exaggerating here. And it took us a while to go back to our priorities in the international organizations and to see the whole world and not only our small piece of land. The government of Israel again decided after, we have done it on the 50s, okay? So we have done it also a decade ago, decided that Africa is a priority, and within that, Ghana, and by the way also Kenya, are priority countries, and in economy and in development, and we are ready to be here in order to really have an impact, to work together. I think that in the last 70 years or more that Israel exists, we have done a change in the way that people today are looking at agriculture or water. And if these are the things that Africa needs right now, we are ready to share our information and share our knowledge and our experience with Ghana. We had this peak or the blossom of the relations in the 50s and the 60s. Then we had a decrease in the 70s. And now we see it rises again, the relations are rising again and topping again. There are a lot of African leaders who are visiting Israel. Sorry. And Prime Minister Netanyahu visited since between 2016 to 2018 3 times in Africa. Once in Liberia, and he met President Nana Akufo-Addo. So it was, so I really think that we are on the right way. Now we have to decide where are we taking it, because for sure we don't have to bring again the Israeli construction companies to build the country or to build Africa. There are very good Ghanaian construction companies that can do it by themselves. And we don't have to, I don't know, bring teachers to teach or other things. That's it. Africa is in a different place right now. Specifically, Ghana became a leader in West Africa, and we have to acknowledge that Israel needs Ghana as Ghana needs Israel, and that the relations are mutual, or there is reciprocity in this process. So while we are able to bring technologies and to share our experience, Ghana has a very important role in West Africa and in the African Union as a regional leader. So I think that this is what we have to consider right now. Where are we taking these relations to? What is, how do we see the future, and what is the best way to get there?
Right, so you've mentioned that Israel needs Ghana, Ghana needs Israel. So what is it that we have been doing? What is it that we have done? And how do we build on that to still stay very relevant, you know, to the course of the bilateral relations that we have?
Sorry, yes, Juliana, I forgot to, my apologies. Yes, not here, yes, okay. Can you please ask again?
Right, so I was asking that you just mentioned that the two nations need each other. So I would want to have specifics, you know, what is it that Ghana is doing? What are you looking up to, you know, for Ghana for? And how do we make sure that we build on that to stay relevant to the course of our relationship?
One of the things is the visibility, let's say the way that we are seemed here, Israel in Africa. For example, Israel is an observer in ECOWAS, but we are not observers in the African Union. Why is that? Because in the African Union there are some, not a lot, but some strong members who are against Israel. You know, we were once in the past, we were in this status, but now we cannot go back to this status. This is something that we believe, and we are very happy that Ghana said that will support us in order to go back to this position as observers. This is one of the elements or things that the Ghana can do for Israel. What else? Ghana will have now a seat in the Security Council in the UN. Kenya had it, have it actually. These are things that are very, very important in the international community. Now, people don't realize it, especially in Israel, people don't realize it, but our main struggle or our main conflict these days is in the international arena, in the international organizations. It's not on the field. It's not the real, like, soldiers fighting each other. We are fighting diplomatically. So if you have Ghana as an ally next to you, and also other African countries, I think that it's an important ally.
Right. So, being here, have you identified certain areas that we could capitalize on, to, in a way, monetize our friendship or our relationship? Israel and Ghana have something in common, religion. We both hold religion in very high esteem. For instance, have you thought of maybe religious tourism?
There is, let's say, pre-corona, pre-COVID, but there is religious tourism, and there were delegations from Israel, from Ghana, going to pilgrimage in Israel, and it was very successful until COVID came. This is something that is totally something among us that we share. Generally, I think that, it's interesting to see. You were asking me what did I know about Ghana. Yes. And I told you that I didn't really know anything. And what I found out is that although we are very, very far from each other, and the culture is different, and the work atmosphere is different, and the fields of interest are totally different, the people are the same. We have very good, strong similarities between Israelis and Ghanaians. For example, we love touching. Ghanaians, they love touching, also Israelis. That's why COVID was devastating. And yes, we see each other, we hug each other, we kiss each other, it doesn't matter. And then, so I felt at home immediately. Also, we have a lot of respect to tradition and religion, both in Israel and in Ghana. And these are things that are important to both people. And I think that it makes, there are several people like this, yes, but now talking about Ghana and Israel, this is a uniqueness that we have. Something that does not exist in a lot of other countries. So it was interesting. I don't know why I am talking about it, but so
of course, I mean, you have to talk about everything. Now, beyond tourism, let's also look at security. Because Israel has supported Ghana with security in the past. What exactly is your foreign policy on security where Ghana is concerned? Because the conversation about security is very rife in recent times. I'm sure you're in the country, you read from the news. This is something that is quite a priority for us now.
Yes, yes. Well, homeland security is very important to every country, and we are totally supporting, or we will do whatever we can to keep Ghana a stable country and peaceful country, because this is really one of the most important things to any country, and to Ghana. So if we will be asked, we will definitely answer. I can tell you, and it's not a secret, that there were several contracts signed between the Ministry of Defense of Ghana and some Israeli companies. And we have a lot of services that we can bring with us, and unfortunately a lot of experience. But I must tell you that when you're talking about homeland security, don't forget also cybersecurity.
Yes.
You know, I said that there is a rise in the number of companies interested in doing business with Ghana.
Yeah.
The main sector that they are asking for this kind of collaboration is cybersecurity. Yes. Ghana is very advanced on its digitalization process and is putting a lot of stress on it, and mobile money and all the banks, the sector, the financial sector is very developed. You have to protect it in a way. Now, Israel, unfortunately, and I'm saying unfortunately because our experience comes from millions of attacks that against our financial institutions and a lot of governmental institutions. So we have the knowledge, and we know how to protect ourselves from cyber attacks. And we are offering a lot of experience and solutions to several challenges that Ghana has. And I really hope to see that it will be fruitful in the future.
Right, so if you are to give any recommendations, you know, to both countries, Ghana and Israel, to make sure that we foster on our relationship, staying here for 3 years, what would you recommend?
What do you mean, like what should we invest in? Oh.
Yeah, so for instance, with the two countries coming together in terms of our relations, you have been on the ground. So what would you be taking back, you know, and if you meet maybe our president before you finally say goodbye, what would you be telling him?
First of all, I met him.
Okay,
I think
already?
yesterday or 2 days ago. Yeah. And it was very successful. Yeah, it was 2 days ago. And I can tell you what I told him.
We would love to know.
Yes. First of all, I think that, well, two main things.
Yeah.
First of all is that I hope that I managed to put Israel in a more visible place in here in Ghana, because it's very easy to forget or neglect the small countries. You feel it in other places, we feel it here. We are a development partner, but we are not the biggest development partners. We are a small country, and we have a lot to offer. So, you know, give us the opportunity or take advantage of our knowledge. We are offering it. So this is one thing. Use us. The second thing is related to the status or rising status of Ghana in the international community. I said that I really hope that Ghana will continue on its policy to seek justice and equality in the international organizations, and within that will lead West Africa or all the African countries to support Israel and stop the the discrimination against us in the international organizations.
Right, so you've mentioned equality. Now, I would like to take it away from, Ghana-Israel relations, and I'll bring it to you as a person, and bring it to also the topic of gender. You don't find a lot of women going all the way to the top, in terms of diplomatic work. You have done it, and you carry quite a huge responsibility on your shoulders. As a little girl, what gave you that confidence? What made you think that you could do, what any man would do? Was it from how you were brought up by your parents? Was it your society? Was it something that a conscious, effort by your country to make sure that we put girls at the forefront? What exactly, how did it work for you?
I don't know. I really don't know. I'm not a psychologist and definitely can't understand the complexity of my own brain. But I can tell you, yes, everything that you've mentioned was a part of my, of being myself. In Israel, as I said, we are a traditional society. And in traditional societies, a lot of times, women are paying price because they have a role, and this is to give birth, and it's important, and they have, and I felt it. I definitely felt it, that I have a role, and I have to do my, duty as a mother, and also, by the way, in order to support Israel, okay, and to strengthen your own country, the women's traditional role was to give birth, okay, because we need more Israeli citizens in Israel. And it's difficult because, and I have children, but I have only two. It's not, normally in Israel, it's like 3 children. And in my case, I chose, not willingly, I must say, but my career just went in such a way that I didn't have a 3rd child. I will not tell you that it's something that I don't think of it, and I'm very much like, complete with my decision, and it's not this way, because as a woman you always have this inner conflict between being a mother and doing your whatever your duties, and with the first child you also have your sense of guilt that is born. And it's difficult. I'm not saying that it's not difficult. As I said, I have my husband's support, and he wanted me. I said, look, let's go back to Israel after Turkey. Let's go back to Israel. I had enough. And he told me, what? Yeah, you must be an ambassador. I said, what? He said, yes. Go be an ambassador. Yeah. And he pushed me for it. So sometimes in this world of women who are trying to break the glass ceiling and so on, sometimes we ourselves are our worst enemies. Okay. We are creating a false challenges to ourselves because we have it inside our mind. Me? I will be an ambassador? No, I'm too young. Or I have my daughters that I have to take care of. Or I have too many things to do, and or maybe I'm not confident enough. So when you have people who believe in you, it can be your parents, it can be your husband, it could be your children. Yeah. Yes, yeah. When you have, and it doesn't matter if you are a boy or a girl. You always need someone to believe in you, and they push you. And I think that this is the secret.
You know, before I go on to my next question, I think we have men in the house, you know. I'm sure some of them have wives. Maybe there's a word of advice you would have for them, because you keep mentioning, you know, that your husband really supported you. So maybe their wives are not here, but you can give them some advice, you know, that they need to support us, you know, in whatever they are doing. So before we go on, please talk to the men for me.
I really, you put me in an embarrassing situation.
Because you have that support, you know, and I want to believe that a lot of women are not getting to the heights they would love to be because they don't have that support from home. I mean, if you have to go and come back home by 6 p.m. to prepare dinner, no, you can't be doing this kind of job. So maybe you may want to draw their minds to it that we also want to be where they are.
Look, I will tell you one thing. My husband cooks better than me.
Oh.
My husband teaches the children math much better than me. And he is a very creative person. But even if I didn't have this specific husband with me, I could have been a great diplomat and a career person with my 2 daughters, even without my husband, okay? I am comfortable that my husband, and I love him and I trust him very much, but I don't need my husband in order to become a great career person. I can do it all myself. I can succeed on my own. It's easier when you have support. Yes, it is easier. But if you don't have your husband's support, okay, then you'll take a nanny. You'll pay money to get support. And it's okay. And you can be as successful as a woman with a lovely husband as mine.
Of course. Right, so I think that is a great secret there, you know? Yeah. So how important is mentorship for the young girl?
Well, I think that mentorship is important to everyone, not only to young girls.
Yes, but I'm narrowing it to young girls because of where we are coming from and the challenges that young girls would have to go through. You know, sometimes it appears that things seem pretty easier for the young boy, but not same for the young girl.
I'll tell you something. Of course, mentorship is important. And definitely, I believe that women in central positions should go and talk and see and go to schools and talk to children, and not only girls. Also boys, because we have to also educate the boys that it's okay for women to become professional and career people. And it's, I forgot what I wanted to say, but it's an important, there is an important stage in life for children where they understand what they want to do, okay? They are not, I remember my daughter used to say that she wants to be either a surgeon or a hairdresser, which is, you know, and both things were to her as important, you know, it didn't matter to her. And I told her, I really said, okay, you want to be a hairdresser? What do you need in order to do it? What are the steps? Because to wanting something is good, but how to get it? This is the real issue. And I think that this is the way we should approach life, if we'd like to, okay? I will be happy to be very, very rich and sit, you know, like this and not work. But I can't. And my friends are saying that I will be bored very quickly, and they can't believe that I will do it. But, just give me money and I'll try.
Right.
I'm joking, yes.
We often hear that women are their own enemies. Is there any truth in this? Can you attest to this? Have you experienced it?
That women are what?
Are their own enemies?
Not, I'm saying there are some issues that women were raised to believe that they are that they can't. Okay? I don't know, do someone have a newspaper of today or something? Let's look about on the photos. I don't know which newspaper is going to bring, but normally when you see...
Financial Times here, maybe your newspaper.
Good.
Great.
So normally when you see a picture of a group of people who are taking decisions, most of them are men.
Yeah.
Let's begin with this. Let's begin with having 50% women in the photos. It's not the people who are taking the photos responsible for it, and not the news. It's not the newspaper. It's the people who are taking these decisions. Yes.
Right. Thank you very much. So we have newspapers.
Yes. What do you see here?
You're right on that.
Look.
Yeah.
We have 1 woman and 5 men.
Yes.
And believe me, I didn't know. I didn't prepare myself. This is the way it's going. This is a nice one. We have 2 women and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 men. Okay?
Yeah.
And here with the check of 373,999, yes? 999,000 CD, I hope. Only 3 men, because men are holding the money, okay? These are the things that I'm talking about. You would like to mentor children? Let's begin with appropriate representation of women in the news, in the government, and this government is doing well on that, okay? But still, it's not enough. I'm criticizing my government as well. Do you think that we have 50%? No, actually Rwanda is doing excellently on that, and I envy them on their, so it doesn't matter if you are from the West or from the, it's a matter of decision. You'd like to give us, to give our children an equal opportunity? Show us that you are giving currently, right now, show us that there is equality between men and women.
But how should we approach this? Because you notice that at the very basic level, we have a lot of girls, from school-going age, we have a lot of girls going in there. But as you get higher, the number begins to decrease. So how do we approach it from the basic level?
Look, I'm only a person,
Yes.
okay? I don't have my thoughts are as good as
Anyone
of the
else's,
people.
yeah.
Yes. How do we do it? We open doors.
Yeah.
We open the doors. We give an extra credit to women or to girls who are trying to get into SHS or to the university. And then when they are trying to be part of the foreign service of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs or the Ministry of Economy, they will get an extra credit because currently they are discriminated. I'm sorry to say this D word, yes, but women are discriminated around the world, also in Israel. And the fact that I'm sitting, that I'm sitting in an interview, okay? Being interviewed for work. And I can see that the interviewer is thinking, what will happen if she is going to get pregnant?
Yeah.
then I'm going to lose her for every day to get treatments or medical things, and then she's going to be away for the labor. Yes.
Yeah.
So I can see it. They prefer men because men don't have to lose even one day. By the way, I pity you, yes, because you don't have a reason to go early home. If I am saying, look, I have to pick up my children from the kindergarten, it's okay because I'm a woman. But if a man will say it, God forbid, who are you? Why are you taking care of your children? So, okay, we have to be equal in both sides, okay? So, I would say that there are a lot of things that we can do, but first of all, let's open the doors.
Right. I think it's in order, that we all open up and find ways that we can achieve this together. But wrapping up before we go into our Q&A, how does it feel like being a female ambassador in Ghana or a female diplomat in Ghana?
So I was very surprised. To tell you the truth, I was concerned when before I came here. I thought that all the ambassadors will be men, and they will always, and they will patronize, and I was afraid. Certainly, I didn't know how to dress, and it was a thing. And then I came here and I realized that a lot of countries are sending female ambassadors to Ghana. I don't know why, but there is a high percentage of female ambassadors in Ghana, maybe because it's, relatively safe, or I don't know why. But it was very nice because we have like a forum of female ambassadors, and the men ambassadors once they came and told us, why did you do this and that without us? It's like, well, sorry.
It's a girl code, right?
Yes. So it's nice. I will tell you that I'm the only female ambassador among the Israeli ambassadors in Africa. We have 11 embassies in Africa. I'm not counting North Africa. And it's not easy because they are talking, when you are speaking about the challenges of being an ambassador in Africa, in a very far place, there are challenges. Some of them are very similar between men and women, and some are different. So I have to represent myself, and be loud enough, and I'm doing it very well, I must say.
No, you have.
No, you should see the human resources people when they see me. It's from one side I feel unique. I feel that I'm, shining because I'm the only woman. But on the other side, I have to fight much harder. By the way, it's very similar to the way that I was raised, because I was the princess in the house, a girl with 3 boys, but I had to learn how to fight.
Of course, and I think that it's helped you, it's shaped you well to become who you are now, and you've lived the role.
I don't have to pay to a therapist now. You've done the work.
Right, so your tenure as an ambassador has officially come to an end.
Yes.
Now, in a few days, you will be leaving us. We will really miss you. But what memories are you taking with you to Israel from Ghana?
First of all, today we finished packing the house.
Okay.
And I must tell you that it's not
Did you pack your bed?
What, sorry?
Your bed is safe, not packed yet.
The bed belongs to the residents,
Okay.
so it's fine. But the house is quite empty.
Yeah.
But in the container, I must say that I'm not only taking memories, I'm taking
Tangible stuff.
tangible, yes, a lot of things from Ghana, because the art here is very special and we loved it. So this is one thing. I think that the strongest memories that I have are coming from the church. Because, you know, Israelis, most of us are Jewish.
Yeah.
And we are not going to church. Well, church for us is like, you know, a historical or traditional thing that we want to see. Yes, we are going to a synagogue when we pray. And coming to Africa or to Ghana and seeing this amazing religious experience of 5,000 people dancing and singing and believing, and these energies are amazing, and you hear the voices of the choir, and it's amazing.
Yeah.
This is something unbelievable. It's an experience that I will carry with me my whole life. And I must say, maybe it sounds like cheesy a little bit, but really, the love of the people here, the warmth of heart, the welcoming and the smiles on their faces, and the love to Israel, the fact that in here I can see people with Israeli flags that I didn't see it in my whole life. This is something that amazing me, and will continue to amaze me my whole life.
Yeah, well, we are people full of surprises. You know, that is. Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, Ambassador Shani Cooper.
Thank you.
Right, so I think we can now take a couple of questions. You know, we don't have time at all, so I'm going to just take 2 questions. Okay, so I saw your hand first. I think you can introduce yourself to us, and then you can go ahead with your question. Oh, you can sit. Ambassador, do you mind? She can sit?
No.
Okay, all right.
Hello? Okay.
Hi.
So I have 3 questions. You have to indulge me. This is the first time we've had a fireside chat with a female, and an ambassador at that, although we've had webinars with other females. I'm quite excited to have her here. So I have 3 questions. The first one is...
Sorry, can I just know your name?
My name is Sheila. I work as a director with the Institute, and professionally I'm a civil engineer. So the first question I'd like to ask is, what's your view about volunteerism? Did it play a big part in your growing up when you were in school, when you were building your career? How did volunteerism feature in your school life? And then I'd also like to know what specific things you did in building, whilst you were schooling and in building your career, to get to a profession in international relations. I'm asking this because most people decide, oh, I want a career in international relations, and then there's a status quo, like maybe I'll just go to school and all that. And I'm asking that again because when I wanted an engineering path, I had to consciously know the subjects that I wanted to study in school, and even when I was building my career, consciously know how to get to that professional level. So I want to know what some of the conscious things. Did you have to learn an extra language? What did you do to make sure that your career in international relations was very fruitful? And the last one is, what do you see yourself doing after your career in international relations? I know diplomats never retire, because diplomacy is always continuously evolving. But what do you see yourself doing when you are probably retired from very formal international relations career? Thank you.
Sure.
Thank you very much.
All right. So would you want to take that first? Because it's 3 in 1, so it could be a bit
Yes,
confusing.
yes,
so
yes.
maybe you'd want
Let's
to answer
begin.
ahead, then we take the next
Yes,
question.
and maximum you'll remind me of the question. So what was the first one? Yeah, volunteer. First of all, it's a very good question because in Israel, people are volunteering a lot. This is a huge, huge part of the life in Israel. I'll take just, my father. I'm talking about my family quite a lot today. But my father is volunteering in the ambulance services as an ambulance driver. And the security is like 70 years old, yes, but the security forum of the community. And, it's people are spending a lot of time, and we have a lot of Israelis who are looking for volunteering activities outside the country. And a lot, until COVID, a lot of them came to here, to Ghana. And people are paying money in order to volunteer in Ghana. So one of my ideas was that we will draw a map of the best tourism or the most important tourism spots in Ghana and look for hospitals or a children's home next to it, and then Israelis will be able to volunteer and travel, and then volunteer and travel. Unfortunately, I couldn't have done it. If you asked me about things that I wanted to do, so that was one of them that I couldn't have done or completed. So volunteering is very important, especially I think that it develop your inner sense of moral, and you understand better what's good and what's bad. And I hope I'm not offending anyone, but instead of taking the moral sense from the Bible or from books or from the law itself, you have it within you. First, you know yourself that this thing is good and this thing is bad. You don't need the law or you don't need the Bible to tell you. Again, it doesn't mean that you don't believe or something like this. It just it strengthens you. So this is about volunteering. Second one was about what did I do in order to become a diplomat. Yes. So yes, definitely I took international relations and political science as a major in the university. And because I wanted to become a diplomat, I knew that and I was aiming to that. The second thing was to be very much involved and know about things that are going on in the world, like general information and general knowledge. I think that I think that these were the main things that I've done for myself. But generally, I think that it's very good to set a goal and to go for it, because most of the times you'll succeed because you see what you want and you are walking towards there. But sometimes, I had in my cadet course people who studied biology or computers, and they were good enough. It doesn't mean that they were smart, but they had the characters that diplomats should have. They were able to study on their own. They were able to understand the comprehensive picture, to see it from a wide angle, and so on and so forth. So setting a goal is a good thing, I would say. And when I retire, I'm going to rest. That's it.
I think you need it, because you've been very busy.
I'm always busy. It's a
Yes.
problem.
Yes. So I mean, it's understandable that you may want to rest and probably spend full time with your family.
Yeah, they
During
will
that
not
time.
see me back then. I will be 67. In Israel, we retired on 67. They will be like, I don't know, 40, if
And
30
you'll be
years
with
old.
grandchildren. You
Yeah,
need
the
that.
grandchildren,
Yes, of course.
right.
Right. So thank you very much, Sheila, for your question. Thank you, Ambassador. So do we take one last question? Okay.
Good evening, everyone. Good evening, Your Excellency. I can sit, right?
Yes, of course.
Okay, thank you.
I'm sitting.
My name is Gustavado. I'm with the Business and Financial Times. It's my first fireside chat, by the way, but I must say you have been very interesting. For a diplomat, I think you're very down to earth. I must say that. However, my question is, from where you sit, since you're leaving us soon, I'd like to pick some advice from you. What advice do you have for the media on how they can help to promote this relationship that Ghana has with Israel going forward? Thank you.
Look, you're asking for my advice, but I will give you my honest opinion, okay? Israel is a strong country. In most of the times, we don't need help from anyone. We can make our own food. We can prepare our own water. Most of the water in Israel is desalinated. We are securing our borders by ourselves. So most of the time we don't need any favors. But there is an exception. And the exception is when the media, the international media, is reviewing us in a very biased way. And I would like very much that the Ghanaian media will not take for granted the review or the stories of the international international agencies or the big media networks, and we'll ask some questions, okay? We'll ask, I would like that the media in Ghana will see a photo and or a title, a head title, and we'll ask, is this real? Is this something that really happened? And maybe even, have a call to our Juliana here, our excellent press officer, and ask her, is it true? Is this what really happened over there? This is what I wish, that you will not take for granted some of the false headlines that are in the international media. And this will certainly strengthen the relation between Israel and Ghana, not because, we will like you more, okay, because you are doing it for us as a favor, but because people will learn the truth and they will read in your newspaper the truth. Now, we had a lot of cooperation with the BNFT, and it's a wonderful newspaper with a very strong woman heading it, and we are not conditioning anything, okay? Ghana can vote against us in the UN, the media can cover us directly from Al Jazeera, which is very anti-Israeli network. We will continue the good relations. We will continue the cooperation between us. We are not putting any conditions to our special relations. But sometimes I would like you to be a little bit more critical when you are taking articles from the foreign media.
I think it's rightly said, and that is our responsibility as media people, you know, to bring accurate information out there and also make sure that whatever it is, we know it. I said I was going to take 2 questions. Unfortunately, I can't take your question. So please bear with me. Maybe some other time we can do that. Ambassador, it's really been awesome, you know, having this conversation, right or wrong. Great. All right, and so this is where we end our conversation. Thank you very much. Your Excellency, High Commissioner of Kenya to Ghana, we really appreciate your time here. Our friends from BNFT, thank you very much. Invited guests, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. So we've had a chat with the Honorable Ambassador of Israel to Ghana, Liberia, and Sierra Leone, Her Excellency Shani Cooper-Zubuda. My name is Frema Dunyame. I work with City TV and City FM. So I'm leaving you in the able hands of Sheikh. All right, so I think my job is done now.
Thank you very much, Madam Moderator. Thank you very much, honorable guest.